3-1, swung on, hit in the air to right center and deep. Bradley going back. He's on the track at the wall, and she is gone. That's a long way to the back end of the Boston bullpen over to into the crowd. Gio Urshela, the most happy fella. Oh, he's the most happy fella. Gio Urshela homers, and the Yankees finally have a lead. It's 1-0 Yanks. Line to deep left field. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. It is a 2-run home run for Austin Romine. Over the high wall and into the monster seats. Romy, my homie. He hits a 2-run home run, and the Yankees take a 2-0 lead.
And that was a changeup from Sale, and Austin Romine really saw that from the hand. He was ready for it, which is why he was able to pull it.
There's a drive deep left center field. It is high, not as far. It is gone to the back row of the monster seats. It's Glaber Day. Gleyber Torres powered one into the last row of the monster seats in left center. And like a good Glaber, Torres is there, and the Yankees promptly take a 2-0 lead. There goes to deep right field. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Second deck. Yes, indeedy. This is the dawning of the age of Gregorius. 8 homers to right. A second deck job. And the Yankees take a 3-2 lead. Well, 2-8, man, here is Judge. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and hit in the air to deep left. That ball is gone. Over the high scoreboard wall and into the seats in left field. A Judgian blast. Aaron Judge homers to left to tie the game. All rise. Here comes the Judge.
And that'll happen when you're a fastball pitcher and you've won too many high fastballs. You can't get your spot every single time. And he didn't do too much with it. That's the great thing about Stanton and Judge when they hit home runs. You don't have to pull them. They don't have to, just make contact, particularly with pitchers that throw those high fastballs. You just make contact. You use your strength.
There's the 2-1 to Gardner. Swung on into the air to deep right. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. A line drive by Gardner inside the pesky pole down the right field line. Oh, let the Gardy party begin. To the bottom of the 5th inning, Luke Voigt leads off against Charlie Morton. And he hits a long drive to left center field. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Voigt hits one to Detroit. That's a win. Now the left-hander is set to be a 1-2 to Giambi. And the pitch swung on and hit high in the air to right. Ordonez back. He's on the track. He's at the wall. She's gone. Jason Giambi has hit a 2-run home run over the right center field wall. The Giambino. His 2-run home run gives the Yankees a 5-0 lead. For the count 3-1. The pitch is swung on, hit high in the air to deep right. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. It's a grand slam. The Bantino. What an inning. What an unbelievable inning. Here's a 3-1. Swung on, hit high in the air to left and deep. Back goes Ramirez. He's on the track. At the wall. She's gone. Georgie juice one. Jorge Posada drove one into the wind and over the left field fence. A pitch. Swung on and hit in the air to deep right. It is high. It is far. It is gone. Away back in the right center field bleachers. 3/4 of the way back. A thriller from Godzilla. So Matsui, it's a 2-out 9th inning home run, and the Yankees trail 2-1. And you can understand Hoffman. It'll be a 3-0 swinging, and he hits a high fly to right. Away back. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Bernie goes boom. They turn him loose on a 3-0. and he hits a high drive 6 rows back in the right center field bleachers. Burn, baby, burn. Gibson's 2-1. Swung on, and there it goes. Deep left field, it is high. It is far. It is gone. There is the Sanchino. Gary Sanchez just hit one from here to there into the deep left field seats. Oh, that Gary is scary. Now, one down here is DJ. DJ hits a long drive to left. It is high. It is far. It is gone in the second deck. Whoa. David John makes long gone. He homers in the second deck and left, and the Yankees take a 7-2 lead. Here's the 2-0. Swung on and into the underneath right. That ball is high. It is far. It is gone. Second deck. It's a 3-run home run from Mike Tachman. Tachman, the Suckman. He hits a 3-run drive into the second deck in right. And the Yankees have blown it open. They have a 7-0 lead. Now, the stadium that is jammed. The Yankees are averaging 52,200 a game. And they're on their feet. And the right-hander Davies is set. Runners lead. The pitch swung on it high in the air, deep down the left field line. It is going to be gone. He's done it. A long high drive down the left field line, just there for a 3-run home run. Alex Rodriguez has made Major League Baseball history, the youngest player ever to hit 500 home runs. An A-bomb from A-Rod, his 500th home run.
Welcome to the show. I am. Oh, there he is. There we go.
How we doing, guys?
What just happened?
I didn't know what to do. I thought Zappy was going to take the lead. I'm like,
I didn't even know Richie was gone because I can't see.
oh, dang.
My bad, fellas. I thought I had my camera on. Idris, good improv. It's the Richie Hicks Jr. Sports Podcast. I am your host, Richie. Wanted to pay homage to the great John Sterling by opening with pure silence and just hearing his voice to come on in. I tried to play basically what I thought made him stand out, and that was his creativity whenever the long ball came into play. There's a lot of things about him calling a game that stood out, but when I think about just the way that he shared the long ball enthusiasm, you know, improv, just quick to throw nicknames and blend a little humor in, I think meant so much to the energy that he brought on the Yankee radio telecast. And I always tell people this, when I came up, you know, a lot of radio, ton of radio games that I listened to because I didn't always have the luxury of listening to games or rather watching games. You know, back in the day, MSG was kind of expensive. Yeah. Eventually it became the Yes Network. I was actually really happy that when I started making money, I was able to get my grandmother the Yes package. That was a cool little thing for me because my grandmother was the biggest Yankees fan. That's how I became a fan. But my affection for the Bronx Bombers coincided with listening to games on the radio. And John Sterling was a massive, massive part of that. And, he surprisingly announced his retirement today.
Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think that a lot of people expected it to happen so quickly. Well, I wouldn't say quickly. I mean, the man, as you can see, 98, 1989. Yeah, more suddenly would be the right way to put it. I just don't think people expected it, but just a phenomenal run that he had. He goes back actually to covering sports in the Atlanta area.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to say thank you to John Sterling, because quite frankly, there'll never be another that did it quite like him. And I think it needs to be celebrated. And, it's like anything else. It's kind of like another figure from the childhood kind of moving on.
Mm-hmm.
But he was an old-timer, and he brought that old-time feel to a newer baseball. So I greatly am going to miss him.
35 years, man. 35 years in for the Yankees, man. That's a long time. And I remember when I first heard him, I was like, who is this guy? And when he did the Yankees win, I was like, I like this guy. And props to Susan Waldman. I like her too. I think they were a good team. And John Sterling, he's from Philly at that. But we already know he's a New Yorker. He just born in Philly, that's it. But he's a New Yorker. We all know that. But 35 years, man. That's a long time. But I'm glad we had him. It kind of surprised me he called it a career so early in the season. But man, 35 years doing it, man.
Yeah, we knew it was kind of coming with him reducing the road travel. And even his bloopers were pretty hilarious too, because he started getting to that level where like a Stanton not so almost home run was completely misjudged by Sterling. And it's kind of like just that lovable, even goofiness at that juncture that we still love, because he went from having it basically cross into the Grand Concourse to, he just got under it.
Yeah.
And obviously I didn't really know about John Sterling until I was older, just simply because I'm not a Yankees fan, not from New York. So, but I knew the name. And when I think of John Sterling, I think when I really realized who he was probably in, 2001 in the ALCS against the Mariners with Bernie hitting that homer to tie up the game at 1-1. That's when I really remember who he is and started paying attention to him as a broadcaster, announcer type of person. It's crazy to see him walk away. We're going on 20 games in a new season, and the Yankees, everything's building for that Yankee Dodgers that everyone wants to see, and for him to step away from it, I think there's something else. I hope there's not.
Yeah.
But
he is 85.
Yeah, he's 85. There's just to walk away.
Yeah.
Right
There's
now,
something to it. Yeah.
The season seems too special right now, too early, and if there does feel that specialness to it for the Yankees and the Dodgers, that World Series matchup may come to fruition, and for him to not be able to call that, unless if he pulled a what's his name? He worked for ABC. Retire but come back and call the World Series or that type of thing. That I could see.
It wouldn't shock me if
I know you're talking about. I can't think
possibly gets invited to the postseason to be the third voice. That wouldn't shock me.
Yeah. Oh man.
Keith. Voice of college football.
Keith Jackson.
Thank you.
Keith Jackson. Yeah, I had his face in my head. I was like,
yeah,
who is it? Yeah. Oh, Nelly. Yeah. I love you.
Oh, no. But no, that's the same kind of thing. He stepped away, but he came back and called certain games. And you would think that, let's go with the assumption that Judge goes on a crazy run or Soto gets to 40 game hit streak or something like that. Something that would, hey, maybe we should bring him back to focus on this moment type of thing. I think the Yankees would owe it to him.
I think they will. I think if the the Yankees make some type of run, I think he'll come back into the booth to call it. Because like Keith Jackson did it, and what's the guy who did the Dodgers for so long? What's his name?
I'm looking at him right now. I see his hair, his hairdo looking
real
nice.
Yeah. I can't think of his name right offhand, but that's how, because he retired.
Rest in peace, right?
But he came back, and
the thing with him too, talking about Sterling, is that he got to witness and call some of the biggest turning points of the dynasty.
Yeah.
Also, the 9/11 season.
Vin Scully.
Yeah, Vin Scully.
Vin
Scully was the voice of the Dodgers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, with Kay, I think actually feels, even though he does the TV side of it, that he probably has to step up even more so now.
Yeah.
Because, they were very friendly, although I guess in some regard you could, because it's funny, people that don't like Michael Kay would put the volume down on the TV and crank up the radio telecast.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, I don't have anything against Michael Kay, but if I had a choice, I'd rather listen to John Sterling.
Yeah. Michael Kay, I like Michael Kay.
Yeah, I don't dislike him. I don't.
He's just, I don't know, man. I got to go with John. John Sterling is like the guy that does the college basketball.
In terms of TV, the bar was raised really high when I was little. You had Phil Rizzuto.
Yeah.
You had Roy White. Then you had Phil Rizzuto and Tom Seaver doing the games together.
Yeah.
So for Yankee baseball, the bar was set very high on the TV side for me. So, and I mean, pretty much, my God, 1989. Think about that. 1989. Yeah. That's how long he's been doing Yankee games.
Yeah. 35 years, man. It's a long time.
But I just want to say on behalf of everyone here, congratulations on a phenomenal career. And I hope that we get to hear him a little bit more. Possibly he'll get talked into coming in the booth during the playoff run. And I don't think it's too coincidental that the Yankees endured their first losing streak of the season simultaneous to him calling for his personal retirement, because it is kind of a sad day for the Yankees, no matter how you slice it.
Yeah. I want to know, now that he's retired, who's going to be in the booth with Susan Waldman?
Forgot his name, but to be honest with you, I'm not really the biggest fan of his, because I did hear him a little bit, because Sterling sporadically more and more stopped making road trips. And I'll just put it to you like this. It's not even, it's like almost an unfair person to replace.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you even replace a guy like that? It's like when Didi Gregorius had to replace Jeter. He did good, but was it even fair?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's special. Very special. And it's kind of like a voice of pretty much my entire life being a fan.
Yeah.
I mean, when did I really start going to Yankee games and following them? 88? Sterling was in the booth in 89.
Yeah.
Nice. You've been there since the beginning with him.
Pretty much. We're going to cross it over to the NBA playoff predictions. Big chunk of our show tonight. As many of you know, the play-in tourney starts tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to let the viewers take a peek at this. Chicago Bulls are number 9, and they are hosting the Atlanta Hawks. It is a one-game elimination. So basically, the loser is gone.
That's it.
The winner of 7 versus 8, which is the other play-in, gets the winner of this. The loser of 7-8 gets the winner of this game, and that's how they sort out 7 and 8 for the 2 and 1 seeds of the East. Miami, Philly. The winner goes to the New York Knicks. The loser plays the winner of Chicago and Atlanta, being that they were still ranked higher. So this is going to be an interesting thing to see how it plays out. I saw front and center that although the Chicago Bulls are a 9 seed, they very much so they have no intentions of packing it in early. They are going to try very hard to enter this tournament. They gave the Knicks all they can handle, and were shorthanded, and I have to give them credit. Miami Heat, after seeing what they pulled off last year, could never count them out. And since Joel Embiid has got his health back, the Philadelphia 76ers are playing much better basketball. So I think, with the exception of maybe the Atlanta Hawks here, this is going to be interesting because the Hawks, in my opinion, have already packed it in.
Yeah.
But at the surface level, and just from what I've seen in recent play over recent weeks, I'm taking the Bulls to defeat the Atlanta Hawks, and I'm taking the Philadelphia 76ers to defeat the Miami Heat. That would set up the Bulls and the Heat in a survival game, and that's going to be a war. But I am going to pick the Miami Heat now.
Yeah, I'm going with the same thing. Except Atlanta, they've checked out. Chicago, they're not going to give up that easy, and they can be like Miami were last year. Will they? I don't know, but yeah, I go with the same. I think Philly's advancing as well. Philly with Embiid, Philly's a whole different team than they were without him. With him, they number 3, number 4. Without him, they dropped all the way down to the play-in game. Once he came back, they started winning.
That's correct.
So, yeah, the team goes with the team goes as far as Embiid can take them, and it this season showed it.
Well, I mean, he is last year's MVP, and at times he's all they've had because we saw how just terrible they were in his absence. I mean, there were games where they didn't break 80 points, and yet they look at it and be like, "Wait a minute, am I in some kind of time warp? Is this 1989? What's going on here?" But yeah, very ugly basketball when he's not there. With him, they have a puncher's chance to hang with anybody. Zappy, do you kind of share me and Idris' sentiments on the way that these play-ins break out?
All right, so I'll just put it to you this way. I actually think that between Philly and Miami, I just have this feeling Miami's going to come out and take that 7 seed, set up the date with the Knicks, and the 8 seed, I just can't. I see Chicago beating Atlanta, but I don't think they can beat Philly, and I think it's going to set up a Boston-Philly round 1.
It's possible. I'm actually seeing it. I think Idris shares my side of this. I got the Knicks playing Philly in round 1 and the Heat having a rematch with the Celtics from last year's Eastern Conference Finals, a series that Miami won in 7 games. We'll go with my scenario first, and since Zappy is a little different than Idris and I, we'll talk about his as well. In the event it is the Knicks and Philly, 2 versus 7, how do you guys see this adding up, and what are the keys to victory for both teams in the event it goes that way?
I think with the Knicks, we got to run them. We got to make them work. Of course, ball rotation, inside, outside basketball. Don't rely on our number 1 man, Brunson. Everyone has to chip in. OG, everybody has to put in. We got to work, and we got to make Embiid work. We got to make him work. We got to move him everywhere.
You got to get them in transition. You want Embiid to be forced to have to run the floor.
Yeah, got to make him work.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that I did notice, whether you're playing the Heat, whether you're playing the Sixers, whether you're playing anybody that's in these playoffs, the Knicks cannot do what they did in the final game of the regular season. That's not typical Knick basketball. But my God, 21 turnovers.
Yeah.
And on the final 5 times they tried to inbound a pass, it's like I literally thought they were trying to give that game away.
Yeah.
Up 4.
It seemed like it.
Up 4, kicking it to the corner, being in a rush. I'm like, guys, possession, ball, clock. Like Thibodeau looked like he was about to have.
Yeah, he's about to flip it. He's about to lose it. He's about to lose it.
But
he was like, dude, what are you guys doing?
The way I view this is that even if Embiid goes off, I don't think Philly necessarily has that second and third scorer that are going to be able to hang with the Knicks top 3 or 4 scorers. I think the Knicks have better depth.
They thought they had it with Tyrese Maxey, but
yes,
I
think the Knicks are better on the glass too.
Yeah.
I give Philly 2 games though.
I give
Based on familiarity, if it goes this way, I got the Knicks winning this in 6 and waiting on the winner of Milwaukee and Indy, because the way the NBA playoffs work, it's based on seeding in the first round, but then it's based on the way the bracket lays. So you get a scenario where a Boston team that should win round 1 would get the winner of 4 and 5. But let's say hypothetically, if the Indiana Pacers beat the Bucks, which I actually think might very well happen,
it can happen.
They're number 6, but they would play number 2. The Knicks had that benefit last year, but it didn't look like a benefit because Miami mopped them.
Yeah.
Mike Zappi, you have Miami playing the Knicks as opposed to Philly. In the event that plays out, how do you see that going?
Whether it's Miami or Philly or Chicago or Atlanta, I think New York is going to obviously advance to the next round. I think they're the best team to challenge Boston in the East. Let's just put it that way. The only issue I see with Philly is going to be the Joel Embiid factor, not having Julius Randle. Obviously, he's going to get his. But if you can slow down Tyrese Maxey and company, then, yeah, I think they'll be all right there. I think Philly is the team that probably presents the biggest challenge, not Miami, Chicago, or Atlanta. But either way, whoever it is, I have the Knicks advancing.
I'm with Mr. Watt here. Depth is going to win this series. Can the Knicks supporting cast continue to play at a high level? I think like anything else, Kenny Smith recently said that he feels that Jalen Brunson's the best player in the East. I think Brunson has the ability to elevate the play of those around him. That's what great leaders do. That's what great point guards do. That's what great facilitators do. Make no mistake, Brunson is a hell of a scorer, but he still very much so knows how to get everyone involved. Hartenstein keeps playing big. DiVincenzo keeps shooting out the lights. And if we keep getting that all-world energy from Precious Achiuwa as well as OG Anunoby, I think the Knicks are going to make a deep playoff run. But I do have it as Philly and the Knicks, which means that I have it the other way here. The Boston Celtics, who are probably the favorite to win the whole thing, would be hosting the team that ended their season last year, or hosting, meaning they have home court advantage, the Miami Heat. This is not last year. I think Jimmy Butler, playoff Jimmy, may very well show up for a second consecutive year. But this might look a little more like when Michael didn't have Scotty yet and when he was busting ass for individual prowess and stats. But this Boston Celtic team, I've been saying it since October. Kristaps Porzingis has really rounded out this roster to a point where this is the most complete brand of Celtics roster-wise I've seen since going back to their previous championship run with the big 3 of Garnett, Pierce, and Ray Allen. So Boston will win this with relative ease, but Miami, I give them 1 game. I give them 1. It might even be game 1. They might go into Boston and shock the world. Then Boston gets pissed and puts the hammer down. No matter what venue Miami catches a win in, I do not see this going past 5 games.
Yeah,
I think Boston would have revenge on the mind here.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 5. If Boston is deep on both sides, offense, defense, they can stretch the floor because you got Porzingis out there where he's 7 feet. He can shoot the 3. I mean, rebound. I mean, they got everything, man. They should sweep Miami. I mean, yeah, they should sweep Miami, but I think Miami will get 1. They might go down 3 games to nothing and grab 1, and Boston to just finish it off. But I don't. I see this as this beat down.
Zappy, your thoughts? Miami, Boston, round 1.
Boston, Miami, round 1. I think Boston takes it in 5. You can't stop the combination of Jaylen Brown, Tatum, and Porzingis. The inside-outside game is on point. Their defensive scheme has been great this year. Whether it's Miami, Philly, Chicago, Atlanta, again, like I said about the Knicks, this is an even bigger. I don't see anyone challenging Boston. Chicago, I think, maybe could get it to 5 games. Atlanta gets swept. Miami, I think, would get it to 5. Philly, I think, gets it to 5 as well. But
the only reason why I would give Chicago a potential win to max against the Celtics is because Chicago has enough guys that can shoot the rock, and Chicago has Caruso, who can really disable the ability of running offense for the best point guards in the league. While Jalen Brunson most recently put up 40, that doesn't tell the whole story because Caruso made him work very hard, and a lot of the forced turnovers is part of the reason that game went to overtime in the first place.
Yep.
But when I look at Chicago's roster, and I know that they're banged up, I'm like, damn, how the hell are these guys not better in the standings? But health did play a part. You have certain guys that you question if they really want to be there. Lonzo Ball as well as Levine are 2 names that pop up to me.
Yeah, I've never been. I mean, Levine, I thought he was a lot of hype.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a lot of people saying how he's the best point guard, one of the best point guards in Chicago history, da 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 da. And I would say Levine is a high flyer and all that. I said, but I'm not point guard, shooting guard, whatever. I like, nah. I said, no. I said, I'm not too keen on him. He was a dunk champion, all that, but he can't carry a team, and he has yet to carry Chicago. He can't even stay on the court.
No, nobody has carried Chicago legitimately. You probably got to go back to D Rose and maybe on a smaller sample size, I would say Jimmy Butler for a little bit.
Yeah.
Milwaukee Bucks facing the Indiana Pacers. This is the biggest threat, in my opinion, in the East for a round 1 upset. I mentioned this to Zappy a few weeks back when we did like an improv late show. The Indiana Pacers were a team that I, as a Knicks fan, did not want to see in round 1. I'm actually pleased that we're avoiding this series. Milwaukee, with Dame in a short sample size as the main guy in the absence of Giannis will be back, proves to me that Dame is supposed to be the number 2 option. Giannis, his lack of health, Milwaukee clearly making a mistake going after Doc Rivers when they had a better record and a better winning percentage with their second coach. They're paying 3 of them. They're still paying their championship coach.
Yeah. Ian Griffin.
It's insanity. But I mean, even on the most recent telecast the other day, people are talking about Giannis possibly not making the All-NBA first team and Brunson jumping him because a lot of people feel that this particular Bucks season was a big disappointment. I got the Pacers winning this thing in 6 games. I think the Pacers are going to be undefeated at Indy. They're going to split the first 2 in Milwaukee. They're going to win this thing in 6.
I'm going 7, Indy. I just don't. I don't even think the Bucks are even better than last year's teams. They just got hurt. Giannis got hurt in the playoff, but I don't even think this team is better than last year's team. They definitely not as good as the team that Griffin had early in the year when they were 30-13.
Hell no.
And I like Dame, but like I said, when he first got that, I said Dame is not a defensive player. They lost Drew Holiday. I mean, I call it. I'm saying Indiana in 7 games, man.
Mr. Watt's nailing this. Bucks are rolled.
Yeah, they're rolled. They are.
Bucks are probably not going to have Giannis for game 1 either.
They might not.
That sets up for the beautiful. Indiana go in there, and really, ever since the All-Star break, the Pacers have been playing some great basketball.
Yes,
I mean, so
I'm telling you, dude, they're not a team I wanted to see. I want them to. Well, I mean, if I'm really telling the truth, I'd rather see Milwaukee win this series, even though they're the higher seed. I think we match up better with Milwaukee. The Pacers will not be an easy out for the Knicks in round 2. Not by any.
They've always been a headache to us.
Always, even going back to when we were the 1 and they were the 8, and go figure, 1994. Yes,
but I think Indy beats them.
93,
especially if Giannis is not there for game 1.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. How good have they even been with him?
Right.
They are just above the water since replacing, changing coaches, I should say. I have nothing against Doc Rivers. But after a while, you got to question, is it the coach? I know that a year ago, Idris, you and I did a show, and we were very angry about players not taking accountability, coaches always getting the short end of the stick. But at this juncture, I got to say, yeah, Doc, I loved you as a player. But yeah, at some juncture, you got to be like, it is Doc to a level.
You know what, Milwaukee? Now, I don't mean to cut you off, Zach. I know you about to drop something that I was probably going to say, so I'm going to say it.
No, I wasn't going to say anything.
No,
you're good.
But Milwaukee got that championship big head. You know, they won the championship. Everyone praised them. Yeah. Then you fire your coach. You got you there.
Yep.
They had a good season, but you still fire him for something beyond his control. Then you bring in another coach who's continuing what the previous coach Budenholzer did. You fire him because the players got a riff.
The word on the street is that Giannis was the one that had the real push in the coaching change.
Yeah, and then you bring in Doc, and they look worse than they've looked in the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 years.
And you got to figure things should fall to a level on Giannis here because he was kind of the architect of that happening. Another team that Doc Rivers used to coach. Oh, go ahead, Zap. I'm sorry. You wanted to say something on here before we moved it along?
No.
Okay. You look like you were thinking there. Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Orlando Magic. This is usually the round where the most lower seeded teams win in the first round. Cleveland did not finish the season as well as I expected them to, but I like them in this series. I do think it's going to go the distance, though. I got Cleveland winning this thing in 7. I think everything Orlando is doing is going to be even more beneficial going into next year. But I think the bad taste in Cleveland's mouth from a year ago, getting banged up by the New York Knicks and kicked out of the playoffs rather early, I think they're going to benefit to a level from some of that. And I do expect Donovan Mitchell to be ready once the playoffs begin. I don't think it's a long playoff stay for Cleveland. I think this is going to take a lot out of them, which would make them even weaker for the Boston series. Again, I'd like to see Orlando win because I think Orlando poses a bigger threat to pulling off a rabbit out of their hat with Boston. But the reality is neither one of these teams are beating the Celtics. The question is which one could extend them a little more. In my opinion, that answer is Orlando, but I got the Cavaliers winning this in 7 hard-fought games.
Yeah, I want to go Cleveland, but what's Donovan Mitchell's status? I'm gonna go Orlando.
Donovan Mitchell's status is he's very impressed with the Yankees lineup. As a self-admitted Queens boy who is a Met fan.
Yeah, I
like Orlando. I'm glad the Knicks didn't go trip over themselves to get him.
Me too. I'm gonna go Orlando in 7. I just think Cleveland, the way they finish the season, I'm just gonna go Orlando. I think Orlando's hungry. They're young, hungry. I mean, yeah, I gotta go Orlando in 7, man.
Right here, Magic take the series. Magic no lie. Give the Celtics fits. Hey, you from your mouth to God's ears. Manifest it. I hope it happens because it's not that I'm afraid of the Celtics, but shoot. I don't live that far outside of Orlando. I wouldn't mind seeing my New York Knicks in the ECF where I could just drive a half hour away and go see them. That'd be kind of dope.
But shout out to Jarrett Allen. That's my favorite Cavs player, man. Go to the fro. I love you some Jarrett Allen, man.
Zappy, you got Orlando doing anything here, or you think it's gonna be Cleveland?
I think Orlando in 6. They just seem hungrier right now. Cleveland, all year I've been waiting for that it factor out of that team, whether it's been from Donovan Mitchell or somebody. I just haven't seen it enough that's going to convince me that they can hold off Orlando. I think they're both evenly matched. I just like Orlando more. I like the style of ball they're playing right now. I'm taking Orlando in 6 in this one.
All right.
Taquan's right. Orlando gives.
I hope he's right.
Fits,
I'm funny with that. I'll be like, I'll tell you who I want to win, and then I'll tell you who I think's going to win. And it's not always the same answer, but I would be thrilled if the Orlando Magic not only advance but give the Boston Celtics a bit of a headache. Out west, we've got the Sacramento Kings. Same situation as last year, just a little earlier than last year, taking on Mike Zappi's Golden State Warriors. 1 game elimination. Same rules. Loser plays the winner of 7 and 8. 7 and 8 is the New Orleans Pelicans against the LA Lakers, led by the man who said the play-in is ridiculous.
And the person should be fired.
Well,
but
guess
needed
what?
to play in game for 2 years in a row to get into the playoffs.
LeBron, in addition to Mike not needing a game 7 in the finals, he also never needed no fucking play-in.
Right. So we know who the GOAT is.
I'm sorry.
Sacramento Golden State.
Sorry.
Oh, my bad. Sacramento Golden State.
Getting angry, that's all. It's okay.
You know, Mike Brown gets another shot at Steve Kerr. But this is not the same team, man, that the Kings had last year or the year, you know. Golden State's running, man. They look like they want to do something. I don't think they'll go far in the playoffs, but I think they'll get past Sacramento.
I love this. Bron created the play-in game on the low.
Right. I think now with the Pelicans and the Lakers, I think the Lakers will win, but I'm going with the Pelicans. I'm gonna go with the Pelicans. McCollum. You got Lawrence Taylor. Well, you know what I'm talking about. I call him Lawrence Taylor. Lawrence Taylor's son. I'm gonna go with the Pelicans. Yeah.
I'm going with the 2 teams with the 2 most recent faces of the league. I'm going with the Lakers and the Warriors. Yeah. Bigger game. I think LeBron turns it on for this particular game. As the Warriors go, I think it's all about the coaching.
Yeah.
Now, will Draymond Green take one more step into Sabonis towards immortality? No.
You better not.
What a goon. I love Draymond, though.
Yeah. Zappy.
I mean, if you look at the season series between the Lakers and Pelicans, everything points to the Lakers winning this game. The Lakers took 3 of 4 during the season. Everything is lined up for Los Angeles to get ready and meet Denver in the first round. And as far as the other one goes, I think the Pelicans will be playing for the rights to the number 8 seed in the playoffs, the Golden State Warriors. If you look at the Warriors Kings this year, they split the series 2-2. 3 of 4 games were won by 1 point. And the lone win that was by 8 points, it was by the Warriors in Sacramento. This series is evenly matched, honestly. Last year I said the Warriors were going to beat the Kings because they had the playoff experience. Now it's going to come down to who's got the better team for that 1 game playoff experience, and I'm going to put my money on Golden State every time for that in this regard. So I think it's going to be Golden State, and when they face New Orleans, I think Steph Curry and Klay Thompson will do their thing and get the Warriors in to be the number 8 seed, facing off with OKC and Shai and Chet Holmgren and company.
Which leads me to this.
Yeah.
Zappy, your team? Go ahead.
As much as I would love to see the upset happen, and I don't know how much of an upset that this would actually be, considering we're talking about a team that
there is such minimal playoff experience there.
Yeah, exactly. The Warriors have been playing hot this year, or as of late, should I say, especially the last 3 weeks. OKC's been playing OKC style of ball. There's a reason why they're the number 1 seed right now. But here we are come playoff time yet again. And how will Shai and Chet be able to handle the adversity that comes with playoff basketball? And I think they're going to do okay. I don't want to sound like a homer and say Golden State's going to go in there and take the series in 7. But I think they're going to go in there and give OKC everything they can handle. And I wouldn't be surprised if OKC took game 1, but the Warriors took game 2 and 3. And it came down to a pivotal, probably game 4, where OKC can't afford to fall behind 3-1, where they can make it a 2-2, then it's going to go 7 type of thing. It'll either be, I say this, it'll be Warriors in 6 or OKC in 7.
there's a distinct difference with vulnerability when it comes to the 1 seed in the West versus the 1 seed in the East. That's not really debatable. And when you consider, according to the way we view this, who the 8 would be, that's scary.
Yeah. I'm going Golden State. Like I'm going with same with Zappy, Golden State or Thunder. Golden State in 6, Thunder in 7. But I really think Golden State's going to get by them. I think if they get by the Kings, which they should, I think they'll get by OKC, man. OKC is young. And this is, they're the hunted now.
Yeah. It's weird. That's what makes it dangerous to me because, winning a regular season best record for that conference versus the element that comes with the playoffs, it's a completely different animal because, Denver's a 2. Here we go. Denver's a 2. They're the defending world champions. And I've said this on so many shows with the emphasis of rest minutes, with the emphasis of health. I don't think home court matters as much as it did in previous years. I mean, the Celtics on the East side had it sewed up a long time ago. The West, first time in NBA history, you had 3 teams going into final game of the year, everybody tied up, top 3. Never happened before. But this here is a rematch of the Western Conference Finals, short and sweet. Do I think the Lakers have a puncher's chance? Actually, yeah, I do. But in order for them to make it happen, Anthony Davis has to be on the court. He has to stay out of foul trouble, and he has to be a focal part of what they do offensively. If he plays his game, the second, third, well, I should say the first, the third, and fourth options all become more pertinent in this series. Because I see AD, when he's right, as still the second scoring option. When he's right. But best case scenario, Nuggets in 6. I actually think that's how it plays. Nuggets in 6, but I think the Lakers put up a better showing than last year's Western Finals.
Yeah, I don't have them playing. I don't have the Lakers getting there.
Flip it.
Denver. Yeah,
well, flip it. If you got,
I think Denver. I think Denver's going to run the Pelicans. They're going to run them. I don't think whoever played them in that first round.
To me, this is a more respectable matchup if it goes that way.
Yeah,
I think the Lakers give them the punchers.
I think they'll get if they play the Lakers. I think the Lakers they might get 1 or 2 games, but I think Denver's just going to punch them in the face and be like, "Look, who's next?"
Yeah, they can't afford for it to go the way it did last year.
Yeah, who's next?
Nuggets in 6. All right, we're all seem to be in agreement here on this. All right. This is an interesting one. I'm going to call this now. I think this is going to be the best series of the first round. Most entertaining. I've got the Dallas Mavericks with the combo of Luka and Kyrie really elevating their games for this particular series and putting on a show for the playoffs that remain. I actually got Dallas winning this thing in 6 games. And I'm even going to tip my hat on a little bit of a spoiler here. I got the Dallas Mavericks going to the Western Conference Finals this year. Year 1 versus year 2 of Kyrie and Luka look like 2 different things. I actually think that these 2 are going to put on quite a show in the playoffs starting here.
I was going to say not enough defense, but towards the end of the season, they've been D'ing up. But it's a playoffs now. Whole different game. The Clippers, they got everything on their offense. You got PG-13, you got Kawhi, you got Westbrook, you got Harden. I mean,
you need playoff Kawhi to show up for this one.
You need playoff Kawhi, and you need somebody other than the regular James Harden to show up too. Because Westbrook's going to show up. I mean, he's going to do what he does. I mean, he's still shooting bricks, but he comes to play every time, regardless. He comes to play.
You just nailed it, though, Regis.
What's that?
James Harden, bro.
Yeah. Is he going to show up? It's playoff, and we don't even know what playoff James Harden looked like.
Last time I seen him was in 2K Legends Tournament.
Yeah, so I think Dallas can win this. They got to take one in LA early. They have to take one in LA because if not, they can't go down 2-0. Because they don't, even though they've been playing defense towards the end of the season, the last week or two, you still had 70 other games that you didn't really play much defense.
I got this being a little weird. I got Dallas splitting the first two in LA, giving up a closeout game, but ultimately finishing this thing in 6.
I got them winning though. I got them winning. Dallas winning. I just don't have faith. James Harden has never showed me anything to convince me that he can lead a team in the playoffs. He has never showed me anything.
No.
So,
and I'll be honest, I like Westbrook, and yes, he plays hard, but I don't. Where's he leading anybody to?
Right. So we'll see. But I'm going Dallas in 7.
I just wish they brought back KD with these guys and just all cry together again.
Yeah, Dallas in 7. What about you, Mr. Z?
It's Luka's time. Dallas 7. This will be the best series. Hopefully, no one gets hurt.
Yeah, for real.
Clippers. I want to pick the Clippers so bad. I really do, but I don't trust Kawhi the way I trusted him a couple years ago. I don't trust PG the way I trusted him a couple years ago. You bring in all that talent, and yet here you are sitting at the 4 seed with the amount of talent that team had. They should have been at the 2 seed, not Minnesota and OKC ahead of them. It should have been Denver. The 2 teams that are built for this. I like Dallas. I really do. I think the Dallas is going to be a great series. I think Clippers have the bodies to do it. I just don't think they're going to have enough to slow down Luka. And ultimately, playoff Kyrie, when he's really in, he's in.
He's in.
I mean, so I'm taking Dallas to win this series as well.
Yeah, Kyrie will throw 35 on you easy in the playoffs.
Yeah, no, Kyrie. Playoff Kyrie.
Put that 35 on your head quick.
An awesome sidekick, and part of the reason why they upset the greatest regular season team of all time. LeBron and Kyrie's Cavs. Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Phoenix Suns. This is another series that, from a talent-based standpoint, could go 7, but I still like Minnesota in 6 here. I think they finished it on Phoenix's home floor after pretty much playing even in all their home games. I like the work ethic of this Minnesota team, and I still think in Phoenix, while they are hyper talented, when you look at what they have and where they are, I'm still, we talk about who could lead who where. I get it. Kevin Durant won multiple championships as a member of the Golden State Warriors, but he joined a championship team that was already winning before he arrived. This is another guy that I'm waiting to see lead somebody somewhere. I honestly thought, revisiting the playoffs a few years back when he was still in Brooklyn, that if he didn't step on the line, I actually think they would have won that series, and that might have been the year that they did something special. It didn't happen, though. And I just see KD as a generational player. I'm not going to question any of that. One of the most phenomenal scorers on damn near every metric. But I still feel that he doesn't necessarily make his teammates better like other great players have. Say what you want about LeBron. LeBron has put in time in this league where you could say he's made his teammates better. You could say the same for Steph. Durant benefited from playing with Steph. But who has directly benefited from playing with Durant to get to another level? I can't answer that because it's yet to happen. Minnesota in 6.
Minnesota in 6, same here. Cat will be back. Gobert's out there throwing shots into the freaking stands. I was never when they made their big 3, Bradley Beal, Booker, and KD. I wasn't impressed at all. I'm not impressed with none of them.
Booker. I'm not a fan of Booker.
I'm not. My thing with Booker is I still don't see the hype over him.
I thought they had more credibility a couple of years back when they were up 2-0 against the Bucks with Chris Paul and Monty Williams was coaching that team. I thought they had more credibility back then.
I still don't see the hype in him. Yeah, he scored 50 points twice or whatever, 60 points or whatever. But he has had teams around him to succeed.
Yes.
And he himself hasn't elevated.
This
in the
Phoenix
playoffs.
team, in my opinion, lacks that intangible that it takes to be a champion, and that's just heart.
But see, it goes to show.
I don't feel that they have that.
Like, look at the Clippers. You got 4 Hall of Fame players playing together.
Yeah, you sure do.
You're in 4th place. Look at the Lakers. You got LeBron, you got AD, you got a whole. Look where they are.
And
But
once again, this is where you prove it. Okay, so we're not the 1 seed. A lot of these guys need to take care of their bodies. They're older. They got more war miles, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but yeah, I like the T-Wolves here. And I actually think the T-Wolves are going to do this a little easier than the Thunder might with Golden State. The Thunder, in my opinion, are very vulnerable in round 1. I'm not shitting if it goes that way with Golden State.
I think I got Golden State winning, but this one I got Minnesota too. I think after you get past Beal, Booker, and KD, I mean, they don't have nothing. They can't play defense.
They don't have that depth. No. And roster for roster, I don't like their philosophy. I really don't.
You got young legs in Minnesota. I mean, Cat got a little age on them. So does Gobert, but you know they don't have that wear and tear that Bradley Beal has.
Yeah.
You know, or even KD with his feet. So, I say 6 games Minnesota.
Zap, you going to disagree with us here, or you got the same result? I know you're a big KD guy.
I used to be.
I know. I'm just
really.
I want to make sure you were still awake. I'm gonna.
That's my buddy.
Take you off. Oh yeah. Idris, definitely your buddy.
You know, this is a series that Phoenix is supposed to win because Minnesota is in the same boat that OKC is in, and that's the lack of playoff experience. No kidding. I'm worried about the playoff experience coming from Minnesota. I think that's something that could haunt them. I think they were better suited to play against the Lakers or the Warriors as opposed to playing Phoenix.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good series. I think this series actually has the opportunity to go 7 as well. Look, Phoenix, we saw what they did. They brought in more talent. They couldn't do it with Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton. I don't think they could do it with what they have now. Give me Minnesota. Give me Minnesota, and I'm going to be different here. Give me Minnesota in 7.
All right. Before we move along to final thought here of the night, fellas, we're going to obviously keep adapting to who wins, see if our picks are even in the remote stratosphere being right. But who do we have coming out of each conference? What are our conference championships? I'll tell you mine quickly. I got the Knicks and Celtics making the Eastern Conference Finals. I've got the Knicks losing in 6 hard-fought games. I hope I'm wrong. I'm a Knicks fan, but we'll see. Out west, I've got the Denver Nuggets repeating as Western Conference champions, and they will defeat the Dallas Mavericks in 5. I got the Mavericks making the Western Conference Finals this year. What do you boys say? Oh, and Denver, Boston for the finals. Denver in 6.
I got Denver, Boston. I got the same thing. I got Boston and the Knicks. But in the West, I got Denver and Golden State. But Denver takes it. I think Golden State will push it. I mean, I just got. If they can get past the Kings, I think they'll beat OKC, and I think they'll make it to the finals, Western Conference Final. But Denver and Boston. I hope I'm wrong about Boston. I hope it's the Knicks, but I think it's Denver, Boston.
Zap.
I'm trying to think. I mean, how they match up if Golden State wins, because I do have a Golden State winning. How would they fare against Dallas and or the Clippers? And man, that'd be a very fun series to watch. East, I got Boston. I got New York playing each other. I think New York is going to give them a lot, but Boston is just ultimately the best team in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
And obviously, barring any type of injuries, Boston, I think they will take it. I wouldn't be surprised if it was in 5, but I'm going to go in 6.
All right. Want to hit you guys.
As far Western Conference, Denver's going back. I think they have the opportunity to face Golden State, but I think it's going to be Dallas as well. But Denver goes on to play Boston.
All right. I want to hit you guys with my final thought before we get out of here. Today, as many of you know, was Jackie Robinson Day around Major League Baseball. It's a special day every season where every team wears 42. The great Mariano Rivera was the last player to wear this number. It was grandfathered in. Jackie Robinson's widow is 101 years old, still alive, and amazingly, up until recently, always attended these events. And when I think about the hell that Jackie went through, whether playing in Montreal on his way up to Brooklyn, Branch Rickey thinking that it could work, ultimately it did. But when I think about everything he went through, and when I think about how things are in pro sports now, the fact that Jackie always did it with such grace, it never pulled him off of being a great husband and a great father, and also served this country too. Let's not lose sight of that. A lot of people get called heroes a little too quickly, a little too easily. Number 42 was a hero. Roberto Clemente, number 21, was a hero. I would not be the least bit upset if they also retired his number down the stretch. These are guys that transcended the world, not just the game. But I just want to say to Jackie Robinson's legacy, to those who loved him, and to his wife who is still with us.
101, man.
Thank you, Jackie Robinson.
Yep.
Joe Long, I completely agree with that statement, but that's part of the problem. The Knicks can't win without Brunson. And to be fair, as much as I love my Knicks, I think they put a little too much on Brunson. The loss of Randall, and I'll be honest, man, I want to see the Knicks play smart basketball in crunch time. I didn't see it last year's playoffs. I didn't see it in the finale against Chicago. I know the nerves are getting the best of them. Jalen Brunson is phenomenal, and he has my MVP vote, but MVP votes don't win the championships. Until next time, he's Idris, and he's Zappy. I'm Richie. Thank you for watching. We out.